In college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we are talking right now with returning guest Doug Upstone from sports-watch.com. Doug, the second college game that you want to talk about, Rutgers at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a 6.5-point home favorite, and these are two top Big East teams, just like the first game where you took two of the top MAC teams. This one, I can see I'm thinking maybe you're going to pick Rutgers just because the line of 6.5 is kind of a little bit big. Both these teams are very good, a lot to recommend them. Since he's good, they beat Syracuse. We know how impressive that is in light of how Syracuse has done recently. But Rutgers, of course, very strong team. Cincinnati does have a new quarterback, which sort of throws a little bit of a monkey wrench into the mix. But what do you like here? I'm going to guess Rutgers plus the points.
Well, we're going to give you a little preview here. And the question, you brought up a good point there about Cincinnati changing quarterbacks. And I wonder if Butch Davis is a bit of a craps player myself, because, the reason that he switched out Munchie Lagoo was because he was throwing too many interceptions and too many poor throws really in the passing game. Now, his senior, Brendan Kay, responded with really a terrific game last week against Temple, throwing for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also rushed for 71 yards. The arm strength differential was clearly evident with Kay. However, I agree. I think the decision to make a switch after being a Munchie supporter all year is certainly curious, especially in the heat of the battle of trying to win the Big East and a BCS berth. I'm not really sure what to make of that myself, other than to say that Jones was an assistant and followed Brian Kelly in each of his last 2 jobs. And we know Brian Kelly at Notre Dame treats the quarterback position like a baseball manager, rotating them out as often as possible or as needed. Now, Rutgers remains the lone unbeaten team in the Big East and begins a pretty arduous journey to the end of the season, starting at Cincinnati. Now, the Scarlet Knights defense is treacherous, allowing just 13.4 points per game and ranks second in the country in yards per points allowed. Now, for those that have followed the Rutgers journey all season long, their emphasis on special teams has paid huge dividends all year. Let's take a look just at last week, for example. The Knights blocked a pair of field goal attempts, and their ferocious punt blocking unit caused a shanked punt and a misfired snap, which led directly to 2 touchdowns in that game. Now, as you mentioned, Peter, Cincinnati is a substantial 6.5-point favorite. However, their new quarterback will be facing the Rutgers defense, not Temple's. Kay, in my opinion, will make a few poor decisions, which should develop into turnovers. Now, Rutgers coach Kyle Flood, I think, will take the harness off his quarterback, Gary Nova, and better utilize underused and underrated wide receivers. I'm calling for Rutgers to stay perfect in the Big East and win this game outright.
Wow. Really? An outright win? No, you might be right. I mean, you think there's more value in just betting on a close game and taking the points, or you think that there's more value in actually going for it?
No. I would say that, in terms of the order, I would certainly take the points.
Right.
But if you wanted to make a smaller secondary bet, to me, Rutgers, I think, is a good play. I think they can certainly win this game outright. They've been very strong on the road. I think that their coach has been too conservative at times with their quarterback and with their offense. And I think that they can get the job done. Cincinnati's defense is average at best. I think it's a good line. I think there's some value. I do understand that Rutgers is only 1-5 against the spread at Cincinnati, so I'm sure that plays a little bit into the equation. But for me, that's not enough. I'm going with Rutgers to win this game outright.
Okay, I agree with you, Doug. Great preview as always. Thanks.